YouTube faithful, what is going on? It is the night before week 6. I'm going to go over all the NFL plays that I like, most of them anyways. I'm going to give you some arguments for and against certain plays and hopefully give you a general overview of the slate. Maybe throw in some Draftkings content, but most of all, I'm going to try to make it entertaining and not too long for you. So if that sounds like something you're interested, go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, possibly leave me a comment, grab some popcorn and a drink, and let's get this thing going. Now, what I'm going to do is show you the process that is optimal, which is right out of the gate. The first thing you're going to want to do is most likely fade this 8:30 London game. I personally don't take games over there. I just don't want to deal with it. They're on the road. They're on a different time zone. It's London. I just am not interested. But I will say this. It is a close spread, decent total. If you want to take Trevor Lawrence over 33 pass attempts, I think that's okay. And then you could run it back with Moore or any of those guys. The Jags are absolute garbage, so the Bears are probably going to win this one. But that's all I got to say about that. Now, this is step number 1. I use Outlier. You can use code CRUSH. The link's in the description. Get your 7-day and 30-day free trial for 37 days. But you get the over-unders right here for the games, the point spreads. We want to look for a high point total and a close spread. These are the games you want to attack for fantasy scores, okay? Draftkings, PrizePicks, UnderDog, whatever it is that you're targeting, this is the first step, okay? So let me give you an example for that. Texans, Patriots, over under 37.5. That's garbage. 6.5 spread, garbage. We're trying to eliminate all the choices because for NFL, there is a ton of choices. I could go through every single game and give you pros and cons for every single play on the board. I could give you an argument of why to take more. I could give you an argument for why to take less. And that is something you guys should be able to do because it will help you with your process. So you want to find ways to cross off half of the board and not get choice paralysis and be sitting there being like, oh my goodness, look at the PrizePicks board. I don't know what to take because there's so much stuff here. I mean, look at this. Guys, it's overwhelming. And if you're not understanding the sport, you're going to be lost in the sauce. So this is step 1. You literally just go through, find the good games, and those are the ones you target, okay? Colts, Titans, you automatically know you're going to want a piece of that. 42.5 total, 2.5 point spread. Cardinals, Packers, 5.5 point spread, oh, good, but it's a good over under 47.5. Browns, Eagles, I mean, this is one of those things where you have to make a good call. You know that the Eagles are likely going to win. It's an 8.5 point spread. Personally, if it was any other team in this spot versus the Browns, I would fade it, but I'm probably going to have exposure to some of these Eagles, okay? Then the Ravens, Commanders. I like the Commanders plus 6.5 here all day long. I don't care that they're on the road. They find ways to win. They're reinvigorated this season. New quarterback, new coaching staff, new everything. And that point total is as crispy can get. So we could get a barn burner here. And if everyone's going to be on the Cowboys-Lions game, the Falcons-Panthers game for DraftKings, this is a game to attack that has the same upside and could absolutely go yarn. Chargers-Broncos, 35.5 point total? No thanks. I will have a few darts from here and there for DraftKings, but nothing serious, guys. You want games that have potential to shoot out for DraftKings. And then for PrizePicks, it's all about opportunity. You want your guys to have opportunity to get in the box, okay? And when you have 35.5 point total, the opportunity is going to be limited. Same thing with the Raiders and the Steelers. Decent spread, but an abysmal point total, okay? The 3 heavy hitters are Falcons, Panthers, Cowboys, Lions, and the Ravens and the Commanders. And then the 4th one would be the Cards and the Packers. Those are the 4 heavy hitters. And then your sleeper games are the Colts and Titans and the Bucks and the Saints. Everything else is pretty much a cross-off. So that's step 1. Step 2 would be to go to DG Fantasy or whatever site it is you're going to use, folks. But this is the one I'm partners with. I have the most success with it. I trust Matt. I trust his team. They have a good software here. It's absolutely good. It's an amazing tool to have in your toolbox, folks. I promise you, especially for NFL. Even better, NBA coming up, you're going to want to have market data instantly because with the NBA, the lines are constantly changing. There's so many players. There's so many things to look at. This is step number 2. All right. So once you see if there's any value, which right now we're looking for 54.5% or higher, there's nothing there. So that means we're using this tool to see what all the other books are pricing these lines at in real time. Remember, this minus 138, minus 120, the books are giving you the chance that they think it's going to hit. Okay, now these odds are centered around the American odds. So if you see something at minus 138, it's revolving around $100. So you would have to put down $138 to win 100. The higher this number with the minus in front of it is, the higher chance it has of hitting, which is why they're making you pay more to take that action. Now, when we play on PrizePicks or any of these pick'em sites, we have fixed payout structures, so it's a little bit different. And the goal is to find missed prices and then get what is called plus expected value and be a long-term winner in that regard. Okay, as people that are placing these bets or handicapping, whatever you want to call it, we are looking for the true odds, which is the actual true potential outcome of things to happen. The books are putting implied odds, all right? So if you think something is more likely to happen 53% of the time and the books have it at 52% of the time, then you know there's a mismatch there. This is what this is trying to do. This tool makes it easy. It's automatic. You don't even have to do any of that. This tool is doing it for you in real time. So I've made plenty of videos explaining all this. If you're interested more than that, I do these teachings in my Discord via live streams. But if you want to get this tool, use code CRUSH. You'll get 25% off your first month. And I promise you, it'll help you with your betting journey, your fantasy sports journey, whatever have you. So since there's no value right now, we're going to go with gut calls. Now, the first person that I want to talk about is Austin Eckler. That's right, Austin Eckler, okay? Remember, this point total looks good. Even though they're 6.5 point dogs, I don't care. I think they're going to win. They have a chance to have an upset. I think they should cover that spread, if anything. But 19.5 receiving yards for Austin Eckler, and then, where is it? 67 rush plus receiving yards, absolutely. He is going to be leading the backfield this week. Brian Robinson, the guy who rushes for 17, 18, 20 times a week, is now out of the mix. And they're not just going to abandon their entire game plan and the way they do things just because he's gone. Enter into the mix, into the blender, Austin Eckler. He has been an amazing back wherever he's played. Has he had injuries? Absolutely. Who hasn't? Last week he had a decent game. This has literally been a wagon line. 30, 22, 47, 52. He's covered it every week he's played. So I have no problem going back to this, especially when he's going to be the one in the lead backfield, especially when they're dogs in this matchup. And I know that Ravens defense, even though they got exposed last week, I think they're going to tighten it up, and that leaves room. If they put pressure on Jaden, the pocket collapses. He could be looking for a check down. Enter Austin Eckler, 19.5 receiving yards. Now, his rush plus receiving yards is okay too. I like the receiving yards best. He's always been a good scat back. You can see here, minus 129 on Pinnacle to go over 19.5. Minus 125 on MGM, etc. Minus 135 on Bovada. So it's pretty much dealer's choice here, okay? Either one of these two is fine, but my priority is the receiving yards. This is going to be the first leg of the one for YouTube right here. Now, if you're looking for a reason not to do this, you could just say, hey, he's due regression. You think the Baltimore Ravens have a solid defense, and you think the line's too high, and I could see that. But I'm just having a hard time figuring out how he doesn't hit this line. Now, if I go back to Outlier, you can see they're allowing 32 receiving yards allowed per game to everybody, okay? The Ravens. This is ridiculous for Ravens, but if you go to the running backs, they're 23rd allowed, okay? So right there, the matchup is good. The opportunity is good, which opportunity means more to me than matchup in the NFL. I don't care. Opportunity trumps matchup in my opinion, okay? You can say what you want. You're feel free to have your own opinion. My opinion is opportunity is king, all right? Period. So we know the opportunity is going to be there. 30, 22, 47, 52. Just look at the snap share. 31 passing plays, 25 passing plays, 34 passing plays, 26 passing plays. All of these, he was in the mix, and now he's not going to be fighting for position with old Robinson. He is the lead back this week unless something changes last minute. Now, one fly in the ointment is that they do run more than they do pass, but that also leads me to his rush plus receiving yards. I think that's great. Now, if you scroll down here, you can see he's had 11 targets. I expect this to go up. Absolutely. Obviously, Terry McLaurin is the target cow at 36. But Brian Robinson's out of the mix, so those extra targets are going to Austin Eckler. So there you go. Hopefully I sold you on him. If I didn't, hey, just fade it. But I will say this too. Same game, Terry McLaurin's receiving yards are 100% in play at 62.5. I just showed you that they're allowing they're 32nd in receiving yards allowed. Okay, and if you're not sure, there's 32 teams in the NFL, so AKA they're dead last. So people are throwing on them, and Jaden is a freak of nature. He's got a bright future. I have no problem going with Scary Terry. He might be shredding all over these Baltimore Ravens. They don't scare me a bit. Look what Joe Burrow did. They got a lucky win in OT due to King Henry, which I'm going to talk about as a run back, but both of these gents are in the mix, and also Terry's 12.5 fantasy score, and if you really want to be conservative, 39.5 receiving yards, the Gabby is absolutely in the mix. And then in that same coin, if you think this game is going to be a shootout and Lamar's going to be dropping back throwing it and Jaden's going to be dropping back and throwing it, these are two similar quarterbacks, y'all, so we could get an absolute show tomorrow afternoon. But Terry and Zay Flowers receiving combo, this is something that maybe you want to take a look at, okay? I don't know how much exposure I'll have to it, but these receiving yard combos give you some wiggle room because someone like Terry can go for 100 yards and then Zay Flowers can get a couple, whatever, or vice versa. That's not the priority. The priority is Austin Eckler, but I'm giving you ideas from the same game. My goal in this video is to show you the four games, I should say, that I like the most and give you options. Next would be King Henry himself, Derrick Henry. Absolutely. I got him earlier at 86.5. That line moved all the way to 90. I still think it's fine. You could take his receiving yards at 7.5. You could take his rush yards at 87.5. But what I like the most is his anytime touchdown. Even though it's a goblin, I think it's completely fine. Okay? It all comes down to the fact, is he going to get fed? Number one. And number two, is the game script going to stay within reason? Because look what happened with the Bengals. If the game script gets out of hand, then Henry's going to suffer. They're just not going to feed him. But if he gets fed, not only is he going to cash this, but his rush yards, his fantasy score, his rush attempts, all that stuff becomes in the mix. So this is the optimal two-man if you ask me from that game. Let's move on. I've beat that to death. The next one that I'm going to talk about is surprisingly an NFL first quarter prop, and that is because I'm giving you guys some dice rolls, some variants here, okay? Because everybody's going to be on this stuff. Now, here's the thing. Everybody, myself included, was on Chris Olave last week during the primetime game, more 7.5 receiving yards, and he chalked it, okay? That wasn't really his fault. I blame Derek Carr. That game got really ridiculous, but I'm going right back to him. Even with Spencer Rattler stepping into the starting role, I don't care. 5.5 receiving yards is too low. I'm going to take a shot on it, knowing his line was just 7.5, 8.5. I'm not worried about the Bucs defense, even though they are my team. I'm taking a shot on this. I'm going to go ahead here and give you my favorite first quarter ones that are already posted in the Discord. I'm going to give them to you here. It's going to be Drake London, Chris Olave, CeeDee Lamb, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, okay? My favorite one is CeeDee Lamb by far. He's been a second half ghost, but he has been a first quarter wagon, and I'm going right back to it, okay? I love that game environment. These two gents are absolutely in play. These are my favorite four. I'm giving them to you. They're behind the paywall. I'm giving them to the YouTube faithful. They're dice throws. Be careful. I'm not going to give you a first quarter breakdown. I'm not going to go into any of that. Just trust me on this. These are all in play, okay? Tail them, flex them, or fade them, and move on. Now let's go back to the main slate, okay? We got other things to talk about. I talked about him earlier in the week, but Darnell Mooney, baby. Absolutely. My favorite play for Darnell got bumped, but right now his Gabi at 39.5 is absolutely great. His fantasy score at 11 and his longest reception at 21.5 is absolutely in play. If we flip back over here to Outlier, you can see Carolina's receiving yards allowed. They're 18th ranked overall to wide receivers. They're 22nd overall to all positions. The fact is, Bijan Robinson is going to be very popular tomorrow. He's going to be absolutely in the mix for Draftkings. He's going to be the chalk play. But look at this. Atlanta is passing 64% of the time. That's with Bijan and Algier. So if Cousins is going to be gunslinging, I don't care who's on the other side. I'm attacking that passing game. Darnell Mooney has 40 targets. London has 44. 24% of the target share. You cannot talk me off Darnell Mooney tomorrow for all formats. DraftKings, PrizePicks, UnderDog, Chalkboard. It doesn't matter, folks. 105 yards versus the Bucks, 56 versus the Saints, 66 and 88. All right, the man cooks. Literally, he cooks. So I'm going right back to him. His longest reception, absolutely gets yards after the catch. He gets targeted downfield a lot. He has a high ADOT. His fantasy score, if he gets a touchdown, his fantasy score is all but locked up because that would be 7 right there, 6 for the TD and 1 for the catch. That's absolutely fine. If you want to be conservative, attack his receiving yards. Now, tomorrow I am going to be hosting a live stream just like I do every Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m. Central. And to get in the live stream, you have to be in the Discord. Now, I run my Discord through Dub Club, okay? So Dub Club is what handles the transactions, and then you sign up with them and you get access to the Discord. I put out projection sheets for every single NFL player that look just like this, okay? This is what you get. It's already posted for tomorrow. It'll help you with Draftkings. It'll help you with finding discrepancies with the players on PrizePicks and everything else. This is what to expect when you get in the mix. In addition to that, I put a daily prop list out that looks just like this. So here's a sample of what NFL prop lists look like. This is for every sport. Juju, Butker, Kamara, this one, all these cashed. It went 6-2, 5-1 if you take out Kamara's rush attempts, because I put 1 for receiving yards, 1 for attempts. So you'll get a list directly of plays just like that. And then my live streams are right down here. And this is where they will give you a notification. There's usually over 100 people every time I go live. I go live Monday through Friday during NBA season and regular MLB season. And then again before any NFL primetime game, and every Sunday at 9:30 to cover the NFL last minute news, plays, and DraftKings strategy, okay? So I would appreciate it if you guys do attend, and you can go to CaptainCrush.net, go to the gold package. It's right there. The link's in the description as well. Sign up with the Dub Club. This will give you unlimited access to everything. It is the gold package, guys. A lot of new members coming in for NFL, NBA. Appreciate you guys. Give it a shot. Let me know what you think. And the ones that are already in there, that have been in there for over a year now, I appreciate you guys being helpful to the new members. It really helps me out. So I will see you guys in that live stream, hopefully, okay? So let's go back to the NFL board and let's talk about 2 more things. I don't want this video to get too long, but the longest yard, the field goal made. By the way, speaking of yard, this video segment, the NFL show that I do, is called 3rd and Yarn for a reason, okay? Not yard, but yarn. So those little short videos that have been popping up on YouTube under my channel, I appreciate you guys if you would take the time to watch them. My video editor that does the shorts, he's a gifted artist, okay? Those videos are absolute cinema quality, and one of these days he's going to do my long form videos, but for now he's doing those shorts, and I hope to work with him for a while. He's absolutely amazing at what he does, so show him some appreciation by smashing the like button. Now let's talk about these field goal kickers, okay? These have been extremely profitable. I talked about it last week. You could go take every one of these and you would actually probably land up profitable on the other side of this, okay? So if you took 6 and then 4 and mixed around, I think more of them go more than less. Now, that doesn't mean they can't go less, but I think more of them go more than less. So my favorite one, it's a no-brainer, Jake Bates and Brandon Aubrey. Aubrey's literally automatic this season. He can literally hit 60-yarders at will. I'm going right back to him. They're going to want to score points, and if they do get in a situation where they need to kick a field goal, this is going to smash. This is my favorite one of the lot. This is the one that I'm going to focus on for the YouTube. I gave out an entire lineup of these under the Flex Friday for Friday's tab in the Discord. If you tailed it, we're going to have a sweat. That is how I wanted to do it. A free roll to be able to have max exposure to these with my favorite ones, but this is my favorite one. This one is anchor worthy in my humble opinion. Doesn't mean it's a lock. Nothing's a lock besides the fact that I'm going to come on here and make videos, but it is a good play, okay? There's rightful reason to take this. Now, when you're searching for things to do, there are discrepancies you can find with fantasy scores because they do offer PPR on PrizePicks. UnderDog is half PPR, but PrizePicks is full PPR. So that makes things interesting. So you want to scroll through here, and if you think guys are going to have big games, this would be where you want to attack. So all those games that I just discussed, those 4 games, that is where you would want to focus on, all right, for fantasy scores. Now, something from that Detroit Lions game that I also think is interesting on the other side is David Montgomery, 12.5 fantasy score, and or Gibbs. Both of these guys have been wagons. So if you wanted to get off St. Brown, which honestly, I don't see a reason to. The Cowboys are giving up yards both on the ground and through the air. But as far as the Cowboys side, you definitely want to attack the passing game. The Lions are good on paper at stopping the run. The way to attack them is through the air. So you'd want to take guys like your Tolberts, your Lambs, etc. But then on the other side, I'm attacking the running game. I will have a little bit of St. Brown, but David Montgomery, more 12.5 fantasy score. If he gets a touchdown, this is pretty much good to go. Same thing with Gibbs. He has more receiving upside. He has a higher ceiling. Obviously, either one of these two guys have to be considered as your late afternoon hammer all day long. If you can find David Montgomery over half a rushing TD, that is also something you want to take. Not the anytime TD, because that's going to be a heavy goblin, but the rushing TD itself. Look at this. He literally just gets TDs. That's what he does, man. He's gotten one every single game. I don't see it stopping. They're fresh. Remember, they didn't play last week. They had their bye week. He's just a machine, folks, okay? 15, 21, 17, 16, 19. I'm not afraid of the matchup, y'all. Dallas is 24th in rushing yards allowed, 17th to running backs, okay? So we don't have to worry about the matchup. Now, I don't want to take his rushing yards because he is splitting it with Gibbs. I want the fantasy score because if he does get into the box, he's not going to be reliant on his rushing yards to cash him. He has touchdown equity, he has catching equity, and he can still get those yards too. But he could literally get 2 goal line tutties and cash like that, and that is what we're trying to target here. So David Montgomery fantasy score is 100% in the mix. Now, this line for David Montgomery may move to 12, so wait on it. I don't think it has any possibility of going up, so I would wait on it and see if you might be able to get it at 12 or even 11.5 because it is kind of juiced on the underside. You last 5 kings can rejoice. This would be the only reason not to play it because they're due regression. I should say he's due regression, and that's that, okay? But I'm not going to let that bother me. I'm not afraid. That game environment, I need exposure to it, and I need it like air. And then you have darts that you could target. J.K. Dobbins, 13 fantasy score. Javonte Williams from those dumpster games. But try to focus on the games that matter. That would be your best bet. And then the last person that I want to talk about is none other than Baker Mayfield's 17.5 fantasy score. And the reason why is he just respects coin. There's no other way around it. 23, 28. He had that bad game in Denver where we got shelled. 19 and 29. He's not afraid to get hit. He lowers his shoulder. He gets into the box. He throws touchdown. He rushes yards. He has that dog in him regardless of what you want to say about him. He is someone who respects coin and who you can feel good about it. So I am 100% am going to have access and exposure to Baker Mayfield's 17.5 fantasy score, and hopefully he gets it done for me. Now, if you want my full playlist, access to projections, and to be in that live stream, just join the Discord. It's literally one trip to Starbucks for you and your girl, and you get 30 days of everything that I'm offering. And NBA coming right around the corner, you're going to want somebody that knows ball and can help you become a winning player. My focus is to help you with your process, to help you win. I don't want you just to be relying on me spoon feeding you. That's not sustainable. My job is to help you win by giving you a fundamental solid process. Now, tomorrow for DraftKings, I'm not going to go to DraftKings site like that, but what I do want to talk about is quarterbacks. I think if you're going to take quarterbacks tomorrow for DraftKings, you want to look at the likes of Baker. He's going to be low owned. That game has potential to shoot out. Spencer Rattler is going to be extremely popular for cash games in DraftKings tomorrow at 4,000. Jalen Hurts, someone no one's going to be playing. I'm not showing you this to tell you to take his pass yard line over. I'm just showing you this as because I'm using this to talk about it. But the most popular quarterbacks for DraftKings tomorrow are going to be Cousins and Dak Prescott. So find a way to get different with these two games. Maybe that's overstacking Atlanta with Cousins, Bijan, Mooney, and Pitts, fading London, or going all the way all in on them. Same thing with Dak Prescott. You could take Dak, you could take Dowdle, you could take Lamb, you could take Ferguson, or you could fade Lamb and go with that. These are things you want to be thinking about. I give you my entire player pool, stacks, and advice in the Discord, so I hope to see you there. Folks, I hope you enjoyed the video. All the partner links are in the description. Like and subscribe, leave a comment, it helps me out. Here's the salute, good luck in all your contests, and as always, my brothers and sisters in Christ, let's crush tomorrow.